country, but often burn hottest right here in Mississippi, the state where a 14-year-old boy named Emmett Till was beaten and murdered, where NAACP leader Medgar Evers was assassinated, where freedom riders overflowed the jails, where gunshots would ring out here on your campus, killing young people and littering one of your dorms with bullet holes still seen today. It was against that backdrop that one day in October of 1967, something truly extraordinary happened in this stadium. For years, legal and political pressures had been mounting for the state to desegregate. And that fall, the state finally announced that for the first time, 2 black teams would get to play in this stadium. Those teams were Grambling State and, of course, your own Jackson State Tigers. Now just think for a moment. You can only imagine the pressure those teams and their fans were feeling. For so long, this field had been the pride of white and white-only Mississippi, and now black fans would fill these stands. Black coaches would patrol these sidelines. Black players would sweat and bleed on this field. How would the world respond? Would those forces of segregation rise up in protest or worse? As one of the players at the time said, and this is a quote, he said, there was certainly potential for it to become a very ugly situation. So the Jackson State coach at the time, Coach Page, thought hard about how to prepare his team. He sat his players down and told them to stay focused on 2 goals. The first, beat Grambling State, of course, one of the best teams in the country. The second, he said, rise above the fray and set a good example. He said, because the whole state, the whole country would be watching. So the players made sure their shoes were shined, their laces tied. They took special pains not to accidentally break anything in the locker room or walk out with a towel. Because as the player said, and these are his words, he said, we all wanted to be representatives of our families, our hometowns, our communities. We wanted to take care of that stadium as much as we could so it would be there for the next black team. And then they went out and they played their hearts out. And Jackson State won that game, giving Grambling its only loss of the season. But more importantly, the world saw what would happen when black folks came into this stadium. What did they see? They saw people enjoying a football game. They saw the same kind of skill and sportsmanship and strategy as any other game the stand had hosted before. So by simply showing and displaying sportsmanship, those players and coaches and fans joined the long line of heroes who made history in this country, in our schoolhouses, our department stores, our lunch counters, and everywhere else, all of them using the same time-tested approach that has always moved this country forward. They didn't stoop to the level of those who sought to oppress them. Just the opposite. They rose up. They combated small-mindedness with dignity, integrity, and excellence. That is the well-worn path to Dr. King's mountaintop that so many men and women before us have taken. Famous civil rights leaders and ordinary folks who faced down dogs and batons and fire hoses with prayer and hope and steadfast determination. For as Dr. King told us, he said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And graduates, I'm here today to tell you that that approach to life isn't just something you should read about in the history books. It's a roadmap for how to live your life. But as I've walked this journey with Barack, I've gotten a pretty good look at what it means to rise above the fray. What it means to set your eyes on the horizon, to devote your life to making things better for those who will come after you. I have seen how no matter what kind of ugliness is going on at any particular moment, Barack always stays the course. See, I've watched him stay up late, night after night, reading and writing and wrestling with the impossible decisions that a president is forced to make. I've been inspired by his tireless effort to engage people of all backgrounds, respectfully listening to folks who disagree with him, bringing folks together to solve our common problems. And week after week, I see him read the letters he gets from people across this country. And let me tell you, he writes back because he knows that they are who he serves. Woo! I see him dedicating himself to helping folks on the margins, folks who often don't have a voice. That is the work of his life, from his days as a community organizer in Chicago to his time in the White House today. And